Hello, students, and good morning to everyone. I am here with the civics part of the social science classes for class 8th, and we are going to learn a new chapter, that is chapter number 9 of civics, welfare of the people. Today I am going to provide you the first part of this video. So let us start this chapter. But before starting this chapter, dear students, in this chapter, we will learn the concept of social justice, as we have learned about the laws, that it is the responsibility of the government to make or to enact some laws, okay, that are necessary for maintaining peace in the society or in the country. In this chapter, we will learn about the concept of social justice, and we will also learn about the various laws that are formed or enacted by the government for the welfare of the people of its country. As in the previous chapter, we have learned about that there are several basic facilities or the public facilities that are being provided by the government, okay, for the development of the people of the country as well as of the country. In this chapter, we will learn about that what are some of the laws that are enacted by the government, okay, to secure or to protect the rights of the people of the country, okay. So here we will also learn about that making the laws is not the mere responsibility of the government. Only enacting the laws is not the responsibility of the government. The government should also responsible for maintaining social justice in the society, okay. So we will learn that what is the concept of social justice. But before starting this chapter or before learning about some laws, let us learn about some of the situations through some examples, that why there is a need of some laws in a country, okay. So let us start from here and take a look here. When I was explaining you the chapter agriculture or products, at that time we were learning about or about industries we were learning. So we have learned that how a cotton from the farm or from the field, okay, go through manufacturing process and becomes or change into a textile or into a cloth that we use to wear, okay. So we have learned about the various processes, or we are knowing that in industry the particular cotton crop, okay, goes through various processes in becoming a cloth or in becoming a textile, okay. So as you can see, from the farm till the shirt or the cloth that reaches to the market that we purchase, okay. As in class 7th I have explained you about the chain of market, okay. We have learned about that there are farmers, then wholesaler, agents, retailers and consumers, and the last ones are the consumer, okay. We have learned about this thing, that the one who produce, that is the farmer, okay, then the wholesaler, retailer and the consumers. So the section, okay, or the part that exploited the most is the one who produces the cotton. That means the farmer is the one who gets the lowest amount for cultivating that cotton, okay. As we are knowing that as the cotton goes through chain, okay, the price of that ultimately increases, okay. So the one section that is that gain or that get the lowest amount for the cotton is only the farmer, okay. So here there should be some rules or there should be some laws that can protect the interest of the farmers, okay. So let us take the next situation and understand a common market situation. All of you are knowing that there are lots of private companies, there are lots of contractors, business persons, shopkeepers working in the market, okay. And everyone, those who are owning any business or those who are running any shop, all of them want to earn more and more profit. All of us are knowing that whenever we also start any business, we will also try to earn more and more profit. And in earning more and more profit, sometimes these businessmen, these contractor or the private companies became exploitative to the people. That means they started exploiting the weaker sections, okay. Suppose that, let us go back again. These retailer, okay, now these producers or this is the weak section, okay. The wholesaler will try to get more and more money from it. The wholesaler also try to sell it at the higher prices. That means here also it will like to earn profit. And the retailer, since it is purchasing from wholesaler, the retailer will also try to exploit us and gain profit by exploiting us. So each and every section of the chain tries to exploit the weaker one. Okay, so in this situation, they might deny workers from their rights and do not pay them proper wages. What they can do that the workers, those who are working in the factories or industries, okay, the owners of the industries or the factories, they try to take up more and more work from the workers, okay, and they used to pay less wages to them. Okay, so how to protect the interest of the workers? Okay, so in this situation, laws are made for the workers only, to protect their interest or to protect their rights. Like that only, laws are also made for protecting the rights of the farmers, as well as laws are also made for protecting the rights of us as consumers, okay, as well as the producers also. Okay, so like that only, laws are being made by the government for every section of the society that tries to earn something. Or okay, so let us move further and learn about the concept of social justice. Okay, so what is social justice? The word social implies society, okay, and justice, all of you are very well familiar about justice. So what is the meaning of social justice? It means that everyone living in the society, okay, has the right to be treated fairly. That means it is the right of every citizen of the India to be treated fairly by everyone, okay, without any discrimination, without any kind of discrimination. So that is why there are several laws in our country which provide protection to its citizen from various kinds of exploitations, so that the stronger people cannot exploit the weaker, or the group or the communities, those who are weaker to them, and they do not follow any unfair practice, and everyone should provide social justice. Okay, so in this chapter we will learn about various laws only, but let us take one example that is given in your book only, Mansi. Okay, in the starting of your book only this story has been given. So Mansi is going in a market, okay, for the purpose of shopping. She was going in the market with her friend, and there, since Diwali was near, okay, and there she saw that the markets are overcrowded with people. Okay, now why the markets are overcrowded with people? She could see many shops selling crackers, okay, and she was also able to see that many people are crowded near the cracker shop. Okay, what she realized from there, and what she asked with her mother, okay, she asked her mother that, yes mom, I have seen various people, those who were crowded near the market or near the cracker shop. I have decided to celebrate Green Diwali or Crackerless Diwali. I don't know why people are not able to understand that these crackers are harmful for our environment. Okay, so here the first question arises about the environment. So the question arises, is there any law that is there for the protection of the environment against the crackers? This is also the responsibility of the government to ensure or to enact laws that protect the environment against these harmful crackers. Now, her mother also said that not only this much, she has taken a name of a place in Tamil Nadu named Sivakashi. Okay, her mother told her that Sivakashi is a place in Tamil Nadu where in the cracker factories, children are working as workers in the cracker factories, and they used to make or those crackers that is really hazardous for the health of those children. Okay, so now she was also concerned about the children, those who are working or those who are working in the cracker factory. Now here also one question arises, that is there any law that protect the interest or that protect the rights of those children, those who are working in the cracker factory or those who are working in any hazardous factory? Okay, so all of you are knowing that child labor is an offense in India. Okay, so what are the laws that are formed or enacted against the child labor? That also we will learn. Okay, this is just an example that is given in your book. So we have learned about need of laws for the workers. We have learned about need of laws for the farmers. We have learned about there is need of laws for the consumers as well as producers. Okay, for there's a need of law for protecting the environment as well as for protecting the children also. Okay, here I want to show you or give you one example, a, a deadliest catastrophe, a disaster that came in the year 1984. Yes, students, we are going to discuss about the Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, Bhopal is known for a really severe tragedy, an accident that took place in the industry or in the plant of pesticide. This day, the 2nd December or the 2nd and 3rd December of 1984 is considered as the night of death. This incident is still having its mark on the life of the people, those who are still living in the areas where this industrial accident took place. Today also, children are having physical or mental disorders, those who took birth here. As we have learned about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, what was the ill effect of the atomic bomb, of the atom bomb, okay, that was there in the world war. Okay, today also the effect of atom bomb is there. Okay, like that only in the Bhopal gas tragedy also the same effect took place, and today also it can see the effect of that accident in the lives of the people of Bhopal. Okay, so let us understand about this tragedy or this industrial disaster that took place in the year 1984, before 36 years ago. The world's worst industrial tragedy took place in Bhopal 36 years ago. Union Carbide is an American company that has its industry or a pesticide plant in India, in Bhopal. Okay, so Union Carbide was an American company, had a factory or a pesticide plant in the city in which it produced pesticides. Okay, so Union Carbide is a pesticide company of America that is having its pesticide plant in Bhopal. At midnight on 2nd December 1984, methyl isocyanate MIC, which is a highly poisonous gas, started leaking from the UC plant, from the Union Carbide plant. Okay, let us see what happened further. So that thousands of people were killed and thousands more were affected. Okay, many children born after the gas leak suffered from various malformations and brain damages. It is believed that approximately 40 tons of methyl isocyanate just leaked in the environment, and the people, those who were living nearby that industrial area, has damaged or destructed their life a lot. What were the health issues that causes due to the release of that or leaked of that gas? The gas that leaked was MIC, that is methyl isocyanate. The plant was Union Carbide plant. It was a pesticide plant. Okay, the initial effect was coughing. The people, those who were living there, as the gas leaked into the atmosphere or spread into the atmosphere, the people, those who were living nearby that industrial region, started coughing, severe eye irritation, suffocation, burning in the respiratory tract, breathlessness, stomach pain and vomiting. These all are the immediate effect of the release of gas in the atmosphere. The immediate death toll was 2,259. Immediate, most of this many people died there. The government confirmed a total of 3,787 deaths due to the release of that gas. The leak caused 5,58,125 injuries. This many people were injured due to that gas release. Okay, some of them have temporary partial injuries and some of them have severely permanently disabled injury. That means that gas leak had disabled some of the people permanently. It is believed that later on it was believed that after 2 weeks 8,000 were died due to this catastrophe. Okay, and due to the various diseases that are caused by that gas leak. Let us move further. How was that leakage took place? In November 1984, most of the safety systems were not functioning. Okay, most of the, since this industry was established during in 1984, most of its functions were malfunction, that was not working properly. Walls and lines were in poor condition. Vent gas scrubbers had been out of service. That means many of the apparatus or the instrument or machineries that were working in that plant was not working properly. Okay, and during the night of 2nd and 3rd December 1984, water entered a side pipe of tank 610. This is the name of the tank, 610, which contained 40 tons of MIC. You can see the picture of that tank in the picture. Okay, this is only the tank from which the gas released. A reaction started taking place which was accelerated by contaminants, high temperature and other factors. Okay, the gas releases and immediately the reaction started taking place as the gas reached the environment. The presence of iron, since the pipelines were corroded, were rusted. That is why due to the presence of iron also, okay, this reaction started taking place at a faster speed. This caused exothermic reaction, a reaction that released a lot of amount of heat energy, which increased the temperature inside the tank over 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, inside the tank the temperature also increased, and due to the increase in the temperature the pressure also increased. This released a large volume of toxic gas. About 30 metric tons of methyl isocyanate escaped from the tank into the atmosphere in just 45 to 60 minutes. Let us move further. Immediate aftermath. That means what were the immediate causes of that gas release? The plant was closed to outsiders by the Indian government. That plant was closed. Lack of information by government caused confusion. Government was getting lack of, that means the government was not getting proper information since that plant was running by an American company. The healthcare system became overloaded. That means this many people suffered due to that gas leak. People were crowded to the hospitals, okay, shifted to the hospitals, and due to that only the hospitals have also become overcrowded. 70% underqualified, having underqualified doctors. That means doctors were also not qualified. They were also not trained that what to do in the situation of that gas release. Medical staff unprepared for the thousands of casualties. So many people were started dying. The medical staffs in the hospitals were also not ready for this. Doctors and hospitals unaware of proper treatment methods for MIC gas inhalation. They were not knowing about any proper treatment, that what to do if a person has inhaled MIC. Mass funerals and cremation. Mass funerals means people died in a mass or in a large number. So cremations was also taking place in a very large number. Trees in a vicinity became barren. The trees also became barren. Okay, since the atmosphere was polluted. Blotted animal carcasses had to be disposed of. Even animals also died due to the gas release. So this was the effect that Bhopal faced due to that gas release. Okay. 1,70,000 people were treated at hospitals and temporary dispensaries. Supplies including food became scarce due to suppliers' safety fears. Okay, safety fears, that means the people, those who are supplying food, the government has also to take care of their health also. Okay, fishing prohibited, causing supply shortage. In that area fishing was also prohibited because that fish is also consuming that air only, na? So that is why fishing was also prohibited in that area. The government of India passed the Bhopal Gas Leak Disaster Act, giving the government right to represent all victims. The government of India immediately passed an act named as Bhopal Gas Leak Disaster Act so that the victims can be punished, okay, for that reason. Let us move further. What was the factor for the gas leak? We will learn. Use of hazardous chemicals instead of less dangerous one. Since that industry was established in a population region, as I have explained you, जो भी dangerous industries होती हैं या hazardous industries होती हैं, that should be established in the areas where population is not there, but this MIC was established where a large population was living, storing these chemicals in large tanks instead of steel drums. Okay, they were storing those chemicals in tanks. Corrosion of pipelines were rusted. Poor maintenance after the plant ceased production in the early 90s. Okay, this plant has reduced its production in 1980s. And poor maintenance, that means every industries should be maintained time to time. ठीक है, तो all those safety measures were not taken by the Union Carbide owner. Failure of several safety systems, many of the safety systems of that industries was not working properly. Okay, now after this catastrophe or all these things happened to India, the question arises that why did Union Carbide set up its plant in India? Why did that American company came to India for setting up its plant? Okay, the reason was cheap labor. The reason was cheap labor, as it was an American company. Okay, and wage that the company pay to workers in USA are far higher than what they have to pay to workers, okay, in poorer countries like India. That is why, since cheap labor is available in India, that is why American company Union Carbide set up its plant in India. Okay, for lower pays, companies can get longer hours of work, and yes, they can take longer time workers or longer duration workers. For that they have to pay less. Additional expenses such as housing facilities for workers are also fewer here, since they belongs to India only. Okay, and the standard of living is not that high. So that is why the industries do not have to pay more money for expense, okay, for the residents of the people, of the workers. Thus companies can save cost and earn higher profits. So in India, that company can earn more profit. Cost cutting can also be done by other more dangerous means, since the government of India was not that active, was not taking care of that industry, that how that industry is working. That is why for cost cutting they have adopted several dangerous means. They have lowered working condition. Okay, they were not taking care of the working conditions. Include safety measures are used as way of cutting cost, and they have started avoiding the safety measures also. Okay, so for reducing their cost, and this way, by lowering the safety measures, by not following the safety measures, by ignoring it, they have saved money. Okay, in the UC plant, every safety device was malfunctioning. Why that accident took place? Because in that Union Carbide plant, every safety device was malfunctioning. That means that was not working properly. Between 1980 to 1984, the work crew member का जो group होता है for the MIC plant was cut in half from 12 workers to 6 workers. Even that company owner has also reduced the workers. Okay, that means there was shortage of worker only. पहले जहाँ 12 लोग काम करते थे, now only 6 workers were working. The period for safety training for workers को safety training कराई जाती है, and that period was also reduced from 6 months to 15 days only. That means proper safety guidelines were not given to them. The post of night shift workers for the MIC plant was also abolished. That means that post was also abolished. Night में कोई workers were not working in the plant. Okay, so all these were the reasons that resulted in that catastrophe. Okay, now let us see what are the legal issues. That means what were the steps taken by the government of India. Civil and criminal cases were filed in the district courts of Bhopal. The people of that place filed case against the owner or the CEO of Union Carbide plant. At that time, Warren Anderson was the CEO of that plant. Okay. Legal issues. One of the main issue which in the Bhopal gas tragedy raises the issue of absolute liability. That means after that incident took place, the Union Carbide company was responsible for paying the damages or the destruction that occur in that particular place. But that is why the principle of absolute liability was not followed by the Union Carbide plant. Let us see what is the principle of absolute liability. This principle states that when an enterprise is engaged in any hazardous or inherently dangerous industry, that means an industry, okay, that is producing something dangerous or hazardous, and if any harm results in account of such activity, that the enterprise is absolutely liable to compensate of such harm. And in case any accident took place in that particular industry, that it is the responsibility of the industry owner to pay all the damages, okay, and that it should be no answer to the enterprise to say that it had taken all reasonable care and that the harm occurred without any negligence on its part. And it is not the right of the industry to say that it is not their fault, they have taken all the safety precautions and they are not going to pay any compensation. That only Union Carbide industry was saying at that time, because they were not ready to pay the destruction that took place in Bhopal. That is why the principle of absolute liability was failed there. This is the principle of absolute liability, and liability can be fixed. ये principle यही है कि liability, that means compensation, should be given to the people those who have faced that disaster, even if there is no negligence on the part of the accused. Okay, thus even if the accident is some freak incident, liability would still be fixed. That means even it is an accident, then also the industry owner has to pay the compensation. In such case, it would be no good defense to argue that the direct or the proximate cause of the accident or the cause of the accident was not the carrying of such hazardous activity. That means overall the concept is this, that principle of liability should be there. That means every industry has to be ready to pay the compensation of any destruction that took place in that industry. Okay. So even if that company has taken all the precautions, but after that also it is the responsibility of that industry. Okay. And after this only, this principle came into existence in India, the principle of absolute liability after the Bhopal gas disaster. Every industry has to follow the principle of absolute liability in India. Okay. The Bhopal gas tragedy is also in a way responsible for passing of the Public Liability Insurance Act 1991. You can underline it, and from here only, after the gas tragedy only, 1991 में Public Liability Insurance Act started in India, which provides for compulsory insurance of any unit or factory undertaking a hazardous activity. That means every industry has to go for the insurance, okay, if that industry is undertaking any hazardous or dangerous activity. Okay, now what happened after that? After Bhopal incident took place, it is clear that there is a need for proper mechanism for compensation. The Indian government realized that there is a need of proper law, okay, for the mechanism of compensation. Okay, in June 2010, 7 ex-employees just understood this thing, that incident took place in 1984, and in June 2010, 7 ex-employees were convicted in Bhopal of causing death by negligence and sentenced to 2 years of imprisonment and fine of rupees 2000 each. Such a small amount and such a small imprisonment was given to those workers, to those who were responsible for such a great disaster. Eventually, an out-of-court settlement reached in February 1989. UCC agreed to pay only $470 million for the damage caused in Bhopal disaster. That means this much money was given in the form of compensation by that industry. Okay, so this is how we have learned about that before the Bhopal gas tragedy, the Indian government was not ready for such a kind of disaster, and they were not having any laws that deals with all these disasters in India. Okay, And we have also learned about this thing that Indian government was not also aware about the safety of the environment. Okay, so here I have provided you a lot of examples by showing you that what is the need of laws in any country, and it is also the responsibility of the government to take care that laws are being followed, okay, and the justice is provided to every people or not. So here I have given you some of the examples. This Bhopal gas tragedy is a very important incident in history, okay, and it has changed the establishment of industries in India. Now every industry has to follow some basic rules or some safety norms before establishing its industry. They have to take the insurance also, okay. So this is all for this part, students. In the second part, I will explain you about some of the laws. We will learn about some of the laws and act that are enacted by the government of India for providing or for working as the welfare of the people of the country. So this is all for this part. Thank you, students. Please read the chapter. You will be able to understand more.